Right, so today guys I'm going to talk about my first year uni experience. I'm going to talk about the course itself first, and then I'll go into all the other topics that I've written down in my notes that I want to cover. So with my course, I did film studies. I really enjoyed the course overall. I would really recommend it if anyone is wanting to do film studies and learn about the actual theory behind films and not so much being hands-on, like as in doing production work and stuff. The course itself, there were certain modules that I did better on. The ones that I did better on, the ones that I enjoyed more. It kind of shows that where your enjoyment is, you're going to be more interested in writing essays like that. So when I picked my second year modules, I made sure that I picked the ones that I was interested in and not the ones that sounded good. The type of modules that I didn't enjoy so much were very difficult, and I think everyone found them difficult. The lectures were very confusing. There was so much information that they just throw at you. Write as much as you can down and then just keep going over it. So I would sometimes do extra research so that I would 100% know exactly what the lecturer was talking about, and if the internet didn't necessarily give me a great analysis of whatever I was learning, then I would go to the lecturer and I would just say, could you verify this with me? Could you explain this a bit more? So I would say that my course was a massive leap from A-level. I think that their style of essay writing is a lot different to what I wrote in A-level. You can't do any like colloquial language, chatty language. You have to make sure that you've got correct secondary sources in there. You need quotes, you need theorists, and you need to be able to back up your points. But it's not just, you know, point, evidence, explain. There's so much more in between. I found that essay writing really hard. I had to get advice from friends and see what the types of things they were writing. So I would say that just be prepared for the type of essays that you'll be writing. You need to make sure that you're like coming across as very intellectual and as if you're writing your own theory. You have to have your own ideas. You can't just use things that you find on the internet. They also hate you using the internet. They would rather you use readings which you've read throughout the year, and your own research by looking at other books, whether you read like a PDF version on the internet, but they don't like things like Wikipedia or just random website pages that help you with getting information. I found that out the hard way because I got quite a low grade on one of my essays, and I basically just relied on 2 readings that I'd read within the module, and then the rest was literally just from the internet, from what I'd researched, which I thought was, you know, in A-level they ask you to do your own research on the internet, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll look on the internet for some extra information and then I'll quote it to make sure that I don't, you know, go through all the plagiarism and all that stuff. With the lecturers, they don't really care about you personally. They do make sure that if you need any help that you can go to them. 2 lecturers that I had were really good. They were so enthusiastic, and when they're enthusiastic they make you really focused, whereas some of the lecturers, they would literally just be reading off a PowerPoint and you would just sit there and you'd be like, I literally could have stayed home for this and done it online, because there's a site that you can access with all of your lectures and it's like recordings, voice recordings, video recordings, everything, so it's like you're there. In a way I kind of think that's quite bad, because attendance wise our year was quite bad for attendance. Not so much for the lectures, because they were quite easy. You just sat there and you just like made notes and stuff, and it was actually interesting to be there when you were learning the bulk of the information. I wasn't very good at getting to my seminars. I'll go into more why. There were sort of 2 reasons why, but yeah, so the attendance, because we have this site, people just thought, oh, like if I miss that it's fine, I can just catch up online, which is good. Like if you are like actually ill, or if you're going away somewhere for some reason, then you're able to, you know, make sure that you're on track. But then again it's bad because people just think I can just do it at home, like there's no need for me to go up the hill to then sit there for an hour and just have a monotone lecturer just talking to me and reading off a PowerPoint. So good and bad with that. Definitely they are harsh markers, and you need to make sure that if you do get a bad grade back, that you don't let that take its toll on your mental health, because it sort of took a toll on me for a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why my attendance was down, because my mental health wasn't great at one point, because I was just letting everything sort of just go through my head saying, you know, you're gonna fail, you're not doing well, like look at what that grade is, you know, you thought you did so well, and then they've come back and they've been so harsh in the comments. Like, they will literally tell you this is a pile of shit. Not those words, but they will go along the lines of them. You need to make sure that you're like strong and that you don't let those comments sort of take a toll on you, because they definitely did for me. And I've learnt now that I'm gonna expect it when I get my essays back. If I haven't done as well, I'm just, you know, take it on the chin and move on. It's only one grade. It's not gonna, you know, determine your, it's not your final grade that you get throughout the whole year. You know, you can do really well on the rest of the coursework, and then you'll be fine. With my results and stuff, I got a 2-1 overall, which I was really happy with. It was a mid to low 2-1, so next year I'm definitely going to be aiming for a high 2-1 and a first. And within my course we get marked on, we have 2 pieces of coursework normally within a module, and then we have attendance. And not normally do uni degrees mark you on attendance. I think it's quite bad because it's attendance, but it's called seminar participation and workshop participation, and it's basically to sort of judge how much you talk and how much you interact. If you're shy and you want to learn by listening to others' ideas and then keep your own, you know, for you to keep a hold of, then it's going to be hard, because they won't give you a high grade because you haven't, you know, spoke up in class. And they don't necessarily pick on you. Well, in my experience, some of my friends in my course said that they did pick. There were certain teachers that did pick on you, but I didn't have them for my seminar groups. But the ones that I had, they don't really pick on you. They just sort of like say a question and then it's open for anyone to answer, and then people can sort of debate, and then that's basically the discussion class when everyone shares their ideas. But sometimes they will be like, so pair up in 2s and then feed back to the class, so that is when you would have to talk, and I would always, you know, be fine with that. But there were certain people that, you know, did find it hard, and I did feel for them, like, because then their grade's going to go down just because they're shy, and I don't agree with that at all. The grades are really different to A level, so I would normally get between the 50s and the up to like 70%. So I forgot to say that with the course, most of my course was coursework, and I only had 1 exam. I got a first in that exam. I got 74%, but the rest of my course was coursework. So in terms of marks, I would be getting 2 1s and 2 2s, and then in my exam I got a first. Obviously first is the best that you can get. Sort of a top tier grade that you would get for a 2-1 is like 68. 62% is like mid-range. In A level you think, oh god, that's 62%, that's not 90%, but you can't, it doesn't really work like that. So you just got to make sure that when you do get your percentages back, it's completely different to A level. So don't be disheartened if you see like 65%, you think, oh my god, I've done so bad, because that's actually really good. With attendance, with my course, I was having a few sort of mental health problems just within myself, and the grades and stuff. When I was getting certain grades back, I was thinking, oh, that's not very good, and then I'd sort of get in a rut, and then I wouldn't want to go to lessons because I'd feel like I'm not benefiting from any of this because I didn't think I was good enough. Just body issues and loads of different things that was sort of just piling up, friendships, and yeah, and also just missing home in general. I kind of want to go into that a little bit later, about anxiety and like homesickness and stuff, because that was sort of a factor that did affect me within my school year. The other side of attendance was clubbing, which I will now go into. In Exeter, there's literally every single day of the week except from Sunday there is something on in a club, like Monday Fever. So then say you had a lesson on Tuesday at 8:30, you're probably not going to be able to get to that unless you have proper determination to keep your attendance up. So that's the one thing that I did sort of also struggle with, because when my mental health was bad, I was thinking, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to go out tonight, I don't care, you know, missing one more lesson won't, you know, harm me because I can catch up on this site. And I just thought, you know, I've got nothing to lose, I'll just go out. But that happened too frequently. So that's definitely something I've learned for next year, and I do advise you to sort of keep the clubbing to, like, you know, not minimal, but like not 4 days a week or 5 days a week, because that's like, I did that at one point and I ended up getting glandular fever and becoming ill and run down, and then I then had to go home for a week because I was so ill that my mum wanted to look after me, so then I had to sign off from all my lessons that week. My attendance went down even worse because I wasn't going to anything. So yeah, with clubbing, it is really fun. I would normally go out on a Wednesday because that was like the sporting events, and in general Timepiece, probably the most popular club that was my favourite club. I'm saying it like it was in the past tense, it's not, because I'm still going back. That's like my favourite club there. That was probably one of the best nights that you could have at that club. Thursday was Quids In. It's at Unit 1, which is another one of the big clubs. Everything was £1. So entry was £1, the drinks were £1 until 12, and then they went to £1.50, which is still really good. So that would always get sold out, and people would literally have to buy their tickets like 2 weeks in advance because it'd be sold out. And if you queued up that night, you're probably not going to get in until past 12, maybe even 1 o'clock, because obviously all the people with the tickets go in a different queue and they get in before you. They ended up putting the tickets up to like £3, sometimes even £4, and I thought, like, what's the point in saying it's Quids In when you just want to make more money just because it's popular now. To be honest, Exeter for clubbing, it's good, but it's not like Southampton or Portsmouth or London or anything. You're always going to see someone that you know when you're out. You'll always bump into your friends because it's such a small, it's not a small community because there's like thousands of us, but the clubs are smaller, and you're never gonna, like, you might lose your friends, but you'll always find them. Like, if I went to TP on a Wednesday, I would then go on a Friday and I'd never get bored. I don't know why. You can definitely tell that Saturdays is like a locals night. Not many of us normally go out on a Saturday unless it's to the Lemon Grove, which is like the uni club, which is on campus. But the TP on Saturdays, you can definitely tell that it's locals because there's so many. You can just tell that they're younger, and it's just a different atmosphere. So by the end of it, I was probably going out about twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. I would sometimes go out Saturdays, but that would be like off the cuff, like literally on the day we would be like, do we fancy going out? Yeah, let's go out. Right, so then I want to go on to like the social life in general. I'll talk about the accommodation because that sort of links into all the friendships and how you like make friends and stuff. At the beginning, before I'd even got there, I got offered a standard room in Northern Hay House, I think it was, which is right in town, right next to TP, but it was standard. And I specifically put in my accommodation sort of preferences that I wanted ensuite, just because I kind of just like my own bathroom, just for hygiene. I know you're probably gonna think, oh, you're being so picky, but I just like my own space in that area. So when I got that through, I wasn't particularly happy just because it wasn't my preference at all. Like, they literally could have put me in any other ensuite and I would have been happy. So I phoned up and they said the only thing that they had left was a studio in Berks Grange Village. Berks Grange Village is one of the main accommodation blocks, and it's mixture between self-catered and catered. And I was really happy in the end. I did go for a studio. However, the money that it cost to live there, my student loan didn't even cover my accommodation fee. It was so expensive, and I kind of now regret that I didn't just stick to the standard room, because I would have saved so much money. I would have had more money to spend on living and all that, and I could save even more money for this summer and stuff. So I kind of regret that in a way, but then I don't regret it because I've made loads of really nice friends, and it was also near one of my closest friends from back home. You know who you are. She was literally like 2 minutes down the road from me, and it was so easy because I could literally just message her and be like, do you want to come round, like, or are you free this evening, just to literally watch a film, and then I'd walk home again. So in a sense it was good, but in the sense it was bad. And also I went to Northern Hay for prees one time, and it was actually really nice. Like, it wasn't anything. When I got the offer through for the standard, I literally looked at the place, the outside, and I was like, oh my god, no. I didn't even go any further. I literally looked at the outside of the outside picture that they put on the offer, and I was like, yeah, nah. And I regret that, because then I went for prees and it was actually really nice. The bedrooms were massive, you got a double bed, you got a sink in your room, wardrobes were massive, the rooms were big as a whole. The kitchen was really nice, it was all modern, refurbished, the bathroom was massive, it was a double shower, toilet, sink, everything, and it was all new. And I can't believe I just was being so picky. So I would suggest, when you're applying to accommodation, don't be picky like me. I'd suggest that go for standard and ensuite. Don't get a studio, because it's not necessary. Also, like, it wasn't isolating because you could still, you know, go and see your friends, but I like my own space anyway. I'm quite not an introvert, but it's weird because in some situations I am, but then in other situations I'm very sociable and friendly as well, but I do like my personal space as well. So having the studio, it was nice. It didn't cut me off from spending time with friends, because you could just go and hang out in their room or bring them over and have a chat in your room. And prees, there were like disabled rooms which were bigger, and even your room is big anyway. Like, you've got a kitchen, a desk and a bed and a toilet all in the same space. So I kind of, from a money perspective, I kind of wish I'd stuck with the standard, because I then had to live off what my parents were giving me. And if they hadn't helped out, which I'm so appreciative for that they helped out, you know, at the start anyway, I probably wouldn't have been able to go to uni. I probably wouldn't have been able to live, because I literally had no student loan left after that accommodation fee was done. And you get your student loan through, and then you literally have to pay your accommodation fee about 5 days, 6 days later, and I'd literally have nothing left. So I do recommend definitely going for the cheaper options, because it will definitely help out in the long run. But yeah, so with friendships and stuff, so I had a friendship group on my floor, I had a friendship group outside of my block, but they were my main friendship group, so I would spend most of my time with them. So when I had prees and stuff, by sort of January time to like the end of term, that I was probably spending more time with them than I was with my floor, but I was still close with the girls and one of the guys on my floor. There was a lot of drama that I didn't sort of expect to happen like in high school, and I don't think many places had drama. It was more just boy drama, because when you're at uni, there's not necessarily relationships, but just people getting with each other and then people stepping on people's toes and stuff. I wasn't involved with any of it. I just kept myself to myself. I'd offer advice, but that's it. Like, I would just stay out of it. With like the sex life and everything with other people, and from my friends' experiences and stuff, boys at Exeter are very horny. Not all, but a lot of them. So just be careful. I'm not saying that everywhere's like it, but there are certain boys there that didn't know their place. They didn't know when to stop, and they didn't know when they'd crossed the line, and they would persist on and on until you had to get angry. A few situations occurred close to me, and it just wasn't wasn't very nice. So just be careful, like, you know, if you're single and going to uni, enjoy yourself, but just be aware of certain people around you, and don't ever, I just wouldn't recommend, you know, the one night stand thing, because it can cause a lot of issues afterwards. Do what you like, you know, I'm not saying don't have one night stands, don't, you know, enjoy yourself. However, just know your worth. Don't ever let a guy make you feel like you're just a piece of meat, because unfortunately that can happen sometimes. Obviously I'm in a relationship, and we've been doing really well at uni. It's nice that we're at the same uni, because we can obviously still see each other every week. We're in a friendship group together, so it's nice to sort of have him as a friend and as a boyfriend. Obviously he's one of my best friends anyway, but it's nice to be with him in a friend's environment as well as just on our own. But yeah, I haven't personally had any experiences with all of that area, but from experiences close to me, it has been interesting sitting on the sidelines watching my friends be hurt and thinking, you know, why do boys do this? Obviously I don't want to say too much, because this is my first year and I've still got 2 years left, so I don't want to like talk about other people's experiences, like tell you all the details and stuff, because I'm still probably going to see certain people that are within those situations at uni, so I just need to be careful what I say. And also with friendships and stuff, you kind of just like, obviously when you go to uni you just get thrown in the deep end. You literally have to make friends straight away within your flat or within your block, and it's actually really good because it grows your confidence. It makes you come out of your shell a lot more. I mean, I've always been a shy person, but then once you get to know me, I open up, and I can be loud to an extent. I'm not a really loud person, but I can be loud when you know me really well, in the sense of like prees and stuff. The environment that I was in, most people did drink, but there's nothing saying that, you know, you have to drink to have a good time. There were certain people that sometimes one day they wouldn't drink. They would literally just come to prees, have a laugh, and then go clubbing, and they would not drink at all. Whether that's because they didn't want to drink in general, or whether they had a lesson the next day that they had to get to and not be hungover. Because when you are hungover and you need to go to lessons, it is probably unlikely that you're going to get there unless you have proper willpower. I will say that I definitely didn't have that willpower at a certain stage of the year. But yeah, with prees and stuff, you will sometimes get invited to go to a flat that you've never met anyone except from the friend that you're going with, and it's actually really fun. By having a couple drinks, it made me feel a lot more relaxed and less anxious. I know it's so bad to use drink as, you know, a resort to calm yourself. However, in those situations, it just made me feel happier. It allowed me to sort of just be myself. Like when I'm drunk, I'm even more myself. So in a way it was good, because I was just thrown in the deep end, didn't know anyone. I could literally just chat for days, and they'll either take me for me or I'll never see them again. Like sometimes you don't even, I think there was one flat party that we went, flat prees that we went to, and I literally didn't see any of them again. It's just very all over the place with uni. You just sort of get on with it, and you just have to be yourself, be confident, or as confident as you can be, and you will enjoy yourself. I have had a really good first year. Obviously there have been ups and downs with the course itself, with homesickness and anxiety. I did suffer with missing home, but I didn't, it's weird, like some of my friends would just come to me thinking, I'm really low today but I don't know why, and I felt exactly the same sometimes. And I think it was homesickness, and it was the feeling of thinking, oh my god, I'm independent now, I'm living on my own, I have to do everything myself, like how am I going to do this for the rest of the year? But we were all in the same boat. Like it wasn't just me that was feeling it, so it sort of reassured me that I could still talk to my friends that were feeling the same as well. So just know that it is normal, and that probably like most people would be going through it as well. So I hope this video has given you a bit more information that you might have wanted to know about uni. This is obviously my own personal experience. It might be different for other people, whether they're at a different uni or not. But this was my personal experience. This is what I can only go off. If you want to know anything else, then leave some questions down in the comments, or you can follow me on Instagram and direct message me there if you have any more questions. If I do get quite a few more questions, then I'll probably do a part 2 to this, just like a Q&A sort of thing about uni. But yeah, do let me know if you have anything else that you want to ask, and I'll ask as best I can. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!